And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. And if you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both our YouTube channel and to the podcast. So today I want to speak about financial success in retirement. And one of the ways to achieve it is to avoid making certain mistakes that I see in my practice that certain retirees make over and over and over again. You know, I was looking earlier, I was thinking of what to write, and I was looking at a couple of financial websites, and they were writing about the key to retirement. 3 stocks to own in 2024 to get retirement income. The 2 top stocks to supplement your retirement income. You know what? I don't want to speak about that. That's not the way, okay? That's not the way to financial success, to buy 2 stocks and say, hey, that's going to solve all my retirement woes, okay? When I coached Little League Baseball, I was always most proud when the young players finally figured out how to finally master a skill, whether it was, hitting or throwing or catching the ball. It was always really cool to see when it clicked. They held the bat, and instead of just closing their eyes and swinging, and they actually sort of figured it out and what to do with their legs, and they were able to hit the ball. It was really, really cool. They figured out that doing the same thing over and over and over again was a great path to continue to stink, right? To continue to fail. And that if they wanted to succeed, they had to take a different approach. The key is to learn from the mistakes and avoid repeating them. When it comes to finances and retirement investing, I see investors repeat and make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And the long-term damage that they cause themselves it's devastating, right? It really impacts their retirement. If you're looking for a secure financial future, forget about the 2 hot dividend stocks, right? And learn from these mistakes. My hunch is that it's going to help you succeed to have the secure future that you really, really want. I can't tell you how many times I meet with retirees, and when I ask them about what their goals are, what their needs are, they just look at me with a blank stare, like a deer caught in headlights, like something like this. Okay? Throughout your life, you need to define financial goals and needs. And when retirement actually approaches, it's even more important to do so. And to not do so, it can lead to disaster. I was reminded of something that happened. I was thinking about something in the past. And when I started out running with my daughter, now she's like much faster than me and much fitter than me. We still both run. We don't run together because I can't keep up with her. But years ago, we went running together. And we got past 5 kilometers, 3 miles for those of you not on the metric system. And I asked why she wasn't keeping up with her slow and overweight and older father. She said she didn't know how much further we were going to go, and she wanted to save her energy. I said to her that we decided on running 7 kilometers, and she knew that she had 2 kilometers left. She then answered me. She says, well, I need to see the finish line. Once I see the finish line, I'm going to run much faster. And you know what happened? She did. When she was able to see the finish line like 500 meters away, right? Because she doesn't have bad vision like her older, overweight, aged father. She could see it right away, right? Then all of a sudden she took off. She was like a cannon. She was like shot out of a cannon, right? But she needed, for some reason, that security of knowing when the end is, and then she was able to let go, so to speak. Todd Tresidder, the financial mentor, once wrote, stated simply, you can't get to where you want to go if you don't even know where the destination is. You must set the goal and then design a plan to achieve it. Failing to plan is the same thing as planning to fail. The sad truth is most people spend more time planning their vacation than their financial future. You must be different. Well, where have you heard that before? Okay, have I ever said that before? Anyway, when I meet with a prospective client, I always ask, one of the questions I ask is, how much money do you spend on a monthly basis? Most of the time, the prospects can't answer that question. They have no idea. But for a retiree, not knowing the answer to that question means that there's an increased chance you're going to actually run out of money, and then you got nowhere to go, right? You can move in with the kids, maybe, if they'll have you. Otherwise, it's the closest park bench, I guess, right? Many individuals in their initial retirement years end up spending much more money than they're able to. Why? Because they travel, They go to fancy restaurants, recreational activities which cost money. Right? All these things cost. People don't realize that, as I've said thousands of times, leisure equals money spent, right? The more free time you have, there's a really, really good chance that you're going to end up increasing the amount of money you spend. Overspending at the beginning of your retirement can cause cataclysmic events down the road, right? Meaning, once again, you could really, really run out of money, especially as we live longer and longer. You know, when you're 65 or 70 and you're spending twice what you sort of should be spending, imagine the ramifications when you're in your mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, what that's going to mean. It means that you've enhanced significantly the chance that you're going to run out of money. We don't want that to happen. Lacking a budget, retirees don't know what kind of income needs they need. I often see investment portfolios also that are way too aggressive for what the client needs. It's as if they're 25 years old, right? And they're not anymore. They're in retirement. A market drop can be devastating for a retiree, as if suddenly they need a chunk of cash and the margin is just, the market just blew off 25, 30, 35%. And all of a sudden, the retiree comes knocking, hey, I need my money. They call me up, hey, Mr. Katzman, I need my money. And I'm like, did you watch the news that the market just lost a third of its value? That's a problem. And when that happens, they're stuck. As retirement approaches, you really need to sit down and figure out how much you're going to need to withdraw in the first, let's say, 5 years or so of retirement. Then start to shift that amount of money into more conservative investments to make sure that you're going to have that 5-year runway for your money. And as you go through retirement, keep rolling over that same 5-year bucket approach. I call it a bucket because you sort of know, you put it into a bucket, right? You keep rotating the buckets so that you always have peace of mind. You always know that you've got the next 5 years of your retirement taken care of. I think that's really, really important. One other tip that I want to give, it's less about financial success and more about, let's say, financial liquidity and being able to access your money. As retirees age, they usually do not add someone to the account to execute changes on their behalf. I often advise retirees to add either a child, a trusted confidant, to give them what we call trading authority, the ability to transact in the account, to free up money in the account, even to transfer money in some circumstances in the account. Because more than once, I've seen a case where an older client has an individual account, not a joint account, an individual account, and they take ill, right? First thing that comes to mind is a client that I had who had a stroke, right? Then all of a sudden, they are unable to execute any instructions to their account. They're incapacitated. And this comes at a time when access to money is critical for them. That's when they really finally they need the money for healthcare, to widen the bathroom door, whatever it is, they need a chunk of money. And because they didn't put anybody else on the account, the money is sort of de facto frozen, right? It completely defeats the purpose. And I can't tell you how important it is either to have a joint account if you have that ability, or to at least add somebody you trust, a child, what have you, if you don't have a joint account, if you have an individual account, as somebody who has the ability to transact. So if you need it, God forbid, and you become incapacitated means not that you die, okay? That you're sort of unable to communicate, unable to transact, unable to speak to the advisor. That's when you need the money, right? So take the steps now, the caution now, so that you're prepared, God forbid, if something like that were to happen to you. Okay, let's learn from the mistakes other people have made and don't repeat them. This is going to go a long way towards a financially comfortable and secure retirement. A lot more secure and comfortable than the 2 hottest dividend stocks for 2024 to increase your retirement. Okay, trust me on that. Okay, these tips are far more valuable and also have a lot more staying power, let's say, than that article, which is basically clickbait. Okay, you've been tuning into the Aaron Katzman Show. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please, please, please hit the like button below. And if you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.